everyone, welcome back. Had a few people reach out to me this weekend regarding an article from Comic Book Gaming about a new Division Battle Royale game. Now the obvious question was, is this article referring to the Division Heartland? Now after briefly going over the article this weekend, I'm not too sure if I'm being honest, so today I wanted to go over it with you guys in a bit more detail, and let me know in the comments down below if you think this article is about the Division Heartland, or perhaps we should be expecting another entry into the franchise that's yet to be confirmed by Ubisoft. Drop a like and subscribe to stay up to date with all my videos, and let's begin. Okay, so here is the article. As I said, this is on the Comic Book Gaming website, comicbook.com. It's actually been covered by multiple other websites now, so you can find it pretty much everywhere, but this was the original source that I got sent to comment on, so I wanted to go over this particular one here. So here we go. It says the Division is reportedly getting a Battle Royale game July 22nd. Ubisoft's The Division is reportedly getting some kind of Battle Royale spin-off. Ubisoft is trying its best to create a lot of different games and experiences within its vast amount of franchises. Sadly, it seems some of it's starting to backfire. Ubisoft sadly cancelled Splinter Cell VR and a Ghost Recon spin-off, which I believe was Ghost Recon Frontline, just the other day, and is ultimately struggling to find its footing with all of its IP. I was actually going to make a separate video on this one. Ubisoft seem to really be struggling with a lot of their IPs at the moment. I'm a little bit surprised the Division appears to be unaffected at the moment. Moving on, it says, although its mainline titles for games like Assassin's Creed are huge hits, there's not as much careful thought or purpose poured into these spin-offs, which may be chasing the gravy train that games like Call of Duty Warzone are riding on at the moment. Nevertheless, Ubisoft is going to try and lean into a bit harder by reportedly making a new spin-off of The Division. According to insider and journalist Jeff Grubb, Ubisoft is working on a standalone Battle Royale game within the Division universe. The report notes that the game was in development up until last year, when it was shelved after bad responses during playtesting. After Hyperscape was shut down, Ubisoft returned to the project to retool it. The publisher is reportedly very interested in having its own Battle Royale game and sees this new Division game as the answer. Not much else is known about the game, but it will reportedly feature rogue-like features. As of right now, Ubisoft has yet to announce an official The Division 3, and it doesn't sound like this will be it, at least in its current form. So just to comment on this particular paragraph here. Now, when I read this doesn't give me the Division Heartland vibes, and there's a couple of reasons why. Firstly, it talks about rogue-like features, and I don't believe the Division Heartland, at least in its original form, had those kind of features. So that was one indicator to me that this wasn't about the Division Heartland. Also, I have heard nothing about the Division Heartland at any point being shelved after bad responses. Now, that could just be because I'm not in the know, but I know a lot of people that have been testing the Division Heartland, and at no point has anyone ever said to me that this game was originally was shelved back at the end of last year. So just going off of that, it doesn't sound like Heartland to me. With that said, and a counter to my own thought process here, there was a bit of a lull between us receiving the first lot of footage for the Division Heartland, which I believe was back in maybe April 21, it might have even been before then, and then us getting some more concrete information around the game, which was maybe towards the start of this year. So it's quite possible that following that alpha footage that we all saw, or most of us probably would have saw, at least I did, it's possible that following the testing and the footage, they decided they didn't want to proceed with the game, and that they restarted it at the start of this year. I mean, it's only been, 7 months for this year, it's July, and at least from the alpha, compared to what we know about the Division Heartland now, it seems to be that there's a lot more in the Division Heartland now compared to what there was previously, and I'm not sure that 7 months is enough time for them to have done that, although, again, my expertise in gaming and dev work and stuff is none. I don't have any. I was about to say limited, but actually I have none. So I don't know how long this sort of stuff takes to develop. To me, when I read this paragraph, I immediately thought this wasn't about Heartland, and this was actually due to a separate IP. So anyway, we'll move on. It says here, it's unclear when this is expected to release, but it sounds like Ubisoft has already laid the groundwork for the new Division Battle Royale and is trying to retool it. The description of the game is also incredibly broad, so it's kind of hard to picture the game that Grubb specifically described, but it makes sense on paper. Division has a post-apocalyptic world filled with people killing each other for loot, so it's not hard to imagine a Battle Royale in that universe. And then talks about leaving comments down below. So again, reading this, so firstly, I've never really referred to Heartland as a Battle Royale game, and I believe even in Ubisoft's own description of the game, they don't refer to it as a Battle Royale game, it's referred to as a survival game. Although I believe it may have Battle Royale type elements to it, and it's quite possible that with the new game modes that there is kind of this Battle Royale kind of game mode in it, but it also has survival game modes to it. So I'm not totally sure on that, but I've never really seen it being referred to as a Battle Royale game except for in articles. When it comes to Ubisoft, I think they've always referred to it as like a survival type game as opposed to a Battle Royale game. It also says the description of the game is also incredibly broad. Now, we've seen like leaked images of the cover artwork. We've seen leaked descriptions of the game, and it's not broad in any way, shape or form. This is even on the official Ubisoft website when it was on there. I'm not sure if it's still on there now. It wasn't broad in what it was, what the description of the game was about. So unless this person thought that description was a broad description, I don't know. But to me, what we know about the Heartland at the moment is not broad. We know that there's game modes. We know there's like 4 game modes. We've got a good description of the game. There's been a lot of testing. There's been footage. We know what the game is. We know it's free to play. So again, this to me says this isn't about Heartland. And so the people that have reached out to me, I've said this to them as well. I don't think this refers to Heartland. However, there are a lot of people out there that say this does. And I can understand why, actually. And if we go by what Ubisoft have said officially, then this is probably about Heartland, because Ubisoft have not officially announced any other games. In fact, they did like that timeline of stuff that we can expect in the Division universe, and there was nothing else, right? We had the Division Heartland, we had the Division 2's year 4 content, we've had the Division Mobile, and that's it. There's been nothing else on that timeline. Now, that's not to say that there isn't something else in the background that we don't know about, because that might be the case. But I find that hard to imagine. If they were working on this game at the start of last year, I find it hard to imagine that they wouldn't have said something by now about this. So I mean, you guys have to let me know in the comments down below what this might be. I mean, I'm going to go out and just say that I think this is Heartland, although this article in particular suggests that it's probably not, because of the reasons I've explained in this video. I've not looked at any other articles to see what they've said about. Actually, I think I've looked at a couple, and most of the other ones again refer back to this, and they also, a lot of them, I've seen articles saying that this is just talking about Heartland. So don't get your hopes up. Actually, for me personally, I wouldn't want to get I don't want there to be a Division Battle Royale game. Now, Heartland to me is a survival game, but it does have Battle Royale elements. I'm okay with that. But I think generally speaking, I don't want a Division Battle Royale game. In fact, I'd much rather them work on a Division 3 than any kind of Battle Royale game. I think Heartland is going to do that. For those people that are interested in PvP, obviously being developed by Redstorm, I think the Division Heartland is there for that, right? It has those minor PvE elements, but it's primarily PvP, and I'm hoping that game will satisfy the PvP audience for the Division, and so it wouldn't make sense to have another Battle Royale on top of that. It doesn't make any sense to me. In fact, it would make a lot more sense for them to work on the Division 3 because there is still a large PvE audience there. I mean, Ubisoft at the moment, they are dropping games like flies at the moment, as we've seen. They're really, I don't know what's going on over there, but they're really struggling at the moment to find a formula and find something to find games that are successful at the moment. They really are struggling. So the fact that they announced a year 5 for the Division 2 following the first season of year 4 says to me that there is enough player base there for PvE to keep this game, keep the Division 2 running. And so I could definitely see them making a Division 3 at some point in the future, but at the moment I don't think it's going to happen. But also, I just cannot see a Battle Royale game coming. I really can't. I just can't imagine them having a Battle Royale game the Division Heartland and the Division 2. I mean, Battle Royale and the Division Heartland kind of clash in many ways. But that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Let me know down below, would you be interested in a straight up Division Battle Royale game? Do you think this is talking about the Division Heartland, or do you think this is talking about something completely different? Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Until the next one, Epic out.